Goodwill/thrift shop workers, what are some of the strangest things you've found in the donations? I was a receiving and loading lead at a thrift store for a few years. We had this guy that cleaned out storage units for a living, and then he'd dump whatever he couldn't flip with us for a tax slip. He pulls up, and we are going through it all. Pretty nice stuff. Looked like it was an estate sale. We get it all unloaded, and then we start snooping through to see what needs to get brought to where, and we find this green glass vase filled with sand. I started pouring the sand out into the trash so we could figure if the vase was worth using. That's not sand. Somehow we ended up with an unmarked full urn. Well, you can now say the last person that got in your way ended up in the trash. I worked in donations. In the same day we got a pickled baby tiger shark and a coin purse made from a kangaroo scrotum. Edit. For everyone wondering how I knew, it still had the original tag on it. Me and my co-workers were guessing it was an unwanted gift someone felt bad about throwing away. It was not the same person that donated the shark. Who knew my most upvoted comment would be about kangaroo balls? As an Australian, the kangaroo scrotum coin purse isn't at all unusual, not that I know anyone who uses one, but you can buy one in any souvenir store here. A grinder with weed still in it, and somehow suitcase full of dildos made it onto the floor and was brought to our attention by an elderly lady who was wanting to purchase the suitcase but didn't want the extra stuff inside. I still think a customer had to have somehow snuck a bag of dildos in and dumped them there, since anything going to the floor is opened and sprayed with disinfectant. Plus it was heavy, so it definitely would have been opened if it arrived that way. Either way, it made for an interesting day at work. Edit. I forgot to add money. We were allowed to keep any money we found. Usually it was the occasional few bucks in a purse someone forgot. Other times it could be big bills, or one lady locked out and found a stash of around $2,000 in $2 bills in a trinket box. Dang, you were lucky to have been able to keep it. At our Goodwill, when I still worked there, it has to go into the safe and into Goodwill's pockets. I was a bad worker and would just pocket it. Something I can contribute to. In college I was one of the people that directly sorted donations. I've seen it all. Vibrators, boxes of dildos, an unchecked collection, to name a few. On more than one occasion have we found large amounts of money stashed away in hollowed out books, usually $1,000 plus in new bills. The one story that sticks out the most was this middle-aged man who consistently came on Saturday evenings to donate used underwear. Bags and bags of men's used underwear for almost 3 months straight. Then suddenly he just stopped. When I was about 16 I worked at Goodwill for about 6 months. There was this old homeless man who used to try and sneak inside to sleep and stuff like that. Every day he'd get kicked out pretty quick by one of my female coworkers. After about a month of working there with her, the homeless man came up to the counter she was working at, gave her a Target bag filled with rocks, and left. We opened the bag and find a doll underneath about a layer of rocks. It was so friggin' creepy. The doll looked exactly like her. We flipped it over, and the back had her full name sewn into it. She quit about a couple days later because she was worried about that homeless man coming back to the store. This is the start of a horror movie. This homeless man, obviously a vengeful spirit, has most likely haunted this woman into ruin and an early grave. Without a job, she probably became homeless, couldn't find anywhere to sleep, and froze to death. Textbook case. I was sorting out some donated items and come across an unusual set of tools. Through some research, we discovered that it was a full transorbital lobotomy tool set. It got donated to a local university for display. Apparently, a vintage set in good condition can sell for around $1,000. Mayo what who has a full transorbital lobotomy tool set just laying around? Moreover, who just donates something like that without any explanation of what it is? Pretty cool though, I guess. Probably deceased older relative who was a doctor. Lobotomies were done not all that long ago. My manager said she came to the shop once and there were bin bags waiting at the front of the store. It was obvious to her going through the bag that a guy had just tipped all of his ex-girlfriend's possessions into bin bags and had donated them to us. All of her possessions, vibrators included. I was 16 and in charge of going through donations, pricing them, and putting them out for sale. I came across something I didn't recognize, so I did what I always did and slapped $0.25 on it and put it out. A few hours later a lady brought it back to my boss in the donation room and told her we shouldn't be selling crack pipes. Oops. Damn, is that what people usually do? Who knows what I can find for $0.25. Maybe I should start checking out Goodwills. A classmate of mine found a human skull that was donated. It still had remnants of human on it. They reported it to the police and turns out it was part of an active murder investigation one state over. Vaguely related, Ted Bundy donated some of his victims' clothes to Goodwill. I wonder how many people out there are wearing a murdered girl's blouse? I'm sure he's not the only one to do it. As a person who mostly shops thrift, watch our other videos and subscribe cause you're not a scrub.